Have you ever reached for a soda or slipped a processed snack into your morning routine and wondered if it could be doing more harm than good? Maybe you've noticed your memory feeling foggy, or you find yourself forgetting simple details that once felt effortless. Today, you're going to learn about 3 surprising foods that can quietly contribute to brain shrinkage after age 65, and what you might try instead. By the end of this video, you'll feel gently empowered to protect your mind, honor the wisdom you've gathered over decades, and embrace nourishing swaps that support both heart and head. So each new sunrise can feel full of clarity and possibility. Sugary, sweetened beverages. There's a familiar comfort in the hiss of opening a cold soda bottle on a warm morning or the bright swirl of orange juice poured over ice. It feels refreshing, prompt, and easy, almost like a small ritual to wake you up. But for a brain that's earned every memory and every lesson, those added sugars can be stealthy saboteurs. When your blood sugar spikes and crashes, it doesn't just leave your body craving more. It also promotes inflammation and insulin resistance in brain tissues, processes scientists have linked to reduced gray matter volume over time. Imagine a gentle Tuesday sunrise, the air crisp with dew, and you sitting on your porch with a tall glass of sweet lemonade. At first, the cool sweetness glides down, and a tight knot of sleepiness loosens in your chest. Yet hours later, you might notice your thoughts feeling sluggish, as though thick fog is rolling in along with the clouds. One neighbor I know used to reach for a fruit-flavored drink each morning, thinking the "made with real fruit" label meant it was helping her stay healthy. But over weeks, she began misplacing her reading glasses more often, forgetting names of old friends, and feeling a dull ache behind her temples. When she swapped it for sparkling water lightly flavored with sliced berries and a sprig of mint, she found her mind clearing. The gentle fizz still felt celebratory. The hint of fruit was bright without a sugar crash, and her memory of the day's to-do list stayed firmly in her thoughts. Maybe you've noticed this pattern yourself. A pleasant start, then an afternoon lull where everything feels heavier. It might help to sift through your pantry and notice how many drinks contain hidden syrups, cola, fruit punches, even some so-called vitamin waters. Consider trying plain water infused overnight with slices of cucumber, lemon, or herbs like basil. The flavors will mingle softly, releasing gentle aromas when you pour your first glass. Sipping this throughout the day becomes a mindful act, each sip reminding you that you deserve hydration that honors both body and mind. If carbonation feels essential, try a soda maker or a bottled sparkling mineral water. Add a twist of fresh citrus or a drop of pure vanilla extract for warmth. These small tweaks can transform your beverage into a ritual of self-care instead of a sugar-fueled habit. Over time, you may discover that your thoughts feel lighter, your mood stays more balanced, and your recollection of cherished moments, grandchildren's laughter, old photographs, familiar bird calls, feels vivid again. By releasing sweetened sodas and juices from your morning or afternoon rituals, you're nurturing a brain environment that resists shrinkage and treasures clarity. You're choosing a breeze of calm over the storm of sugar, and honoring the decades of wisdom etched into each of your neurons. These gentle swaps send a powerful message to your body. You're worth care that lasts, glass after glass, memory after memory. Processed and cured meats. The sizzle of bacon or sausage at breakfast can feel like a warm embrace from an old friend. The rich aromas, the promise of savory satisfaction. These are comforts many of us treasure. But after 65, your brain and your vascular system becomes more sensitive to the compounds used to cure and preserve meats. Nitrates, nitrites, and high sodium levels. These can encourage inflammation and oxidative stress in blood vessels, including those that nourish the brain, gradually contributing to tissue loss and cognitive decline. Imagine a Saturday morning routine, The sun peeking through kitchen windows, the gentle clatter of frying pans, and the smell of sizzling links drifting through the house. One gentleman in your neighborhood began each day this way, believing that a hearty plate of bacon helped him start strong. Yet over time, he found himself forgetting appointments, misplacing his keys, and feeling a dull ache in his temples when he bent over to tie his shoes. When he tried swapping 2 sausages for a soft-boiled egg alongside sautéed mushrooms and spinach, he discovered that the ritual felt just as fulfilling. The creamy yolk provided richness. The earthy mushrooms added depth, and the greens offered a vibrant color that reminded him of spring meadows. You might remember family gatherings where cured hams and deli meats were staples, served with laughter and fond stories. They carried an emotional weight, an echo of holidays past. It can be hard to let go of such meaningful foods, but consider exploring fresh, unprocessed proteins instead. A small fillet of grilled salmon, lightly seasoned and brushed with lemon, or slices of oven-roasted turkey breast can still bring that savory comfort without the hidden additives. If you crave the familiarity of cured flavors, you could try a touch of smoked paprika or a spritz of liquid smoke in cooking. Just a whisper can evoke the same warmth. It might help to reimagine your plate. Lay out a colorful array of toppings: diced tomatoes, sliced avocado, shredded cheese, across a whole grain toast, and perch a poached egg on top. The yolk spills like liquid gold, a nourishing reminder that true richness can come from nature's simplest offerings. Each bite is an act of self-respect. You're honoring the tune of your cells, supporting blood flow that carries oxygen and nutrients to every corner of your mind. For those mornings when you long for ease, prepare a batch of herbed tofu scramble or chickpea omelet on the weekend. Store portions in your fridge, then warm them gently for a quick, brain-friendly breakfast. The soft crumble, flecked with parsley and turmeric, becomes a new comfort food, an act of empowerment that proves you can create nourishing traditions all your own. By releasing processed meats from your breakfast table, you're choosing to stand guard over the tiny vessels that feed your brain. You're investing in a slow-rising dawn of clarity, where each thought can shine unclouded and every memory can rest on a foundation of vibrant health. And you're honoring the journey you've walked, knowing that the well-earned wisdom in your heart deserves the purest nourishment. Trans fats and hydrogenated oils. There was a time when margarine, packaged donuts, and pre-packaged snack cakes seemed like modern miracles. Affordable, shelf-stable, and delightfully convenient. They promised buttery flavor and irresistible texture, wrapped in bright plastic or cellophane. Yet beneath those soft layers often lurk trans fats and hydrogenated oils, substances that not only raise bad cholesterol, but also encourage inflammation in your arteries and brain tissues. Researchers have linked high trans fat intake to decreased brain volume in key regions responsible for memory and decision-making. Picture a quiet afternoon, the sun drifting low in the sky, and you reaching for a packaged biscuit or cake alongside a cup of tea. At first, the soft crumb feels tender between your fingers, and the sweetness comforts a restless mind. But if you've ever felt a dull heaviness settle in afterward, like a woolen blanket gently draped over your cognitive spark, you're experiencing the toll of those hidden fats. One dear woman in your community had a habit of keeping a stash of mini cakes in her pantry, just in case. Over months, she noticed her once brisk mind slowing, letters on her crossword puzzle blurring, and names slipping away like silent raindrops. When she began baking her own banana oat muffins using coconut oil and mashed bananas instead of margarine, she discovered a newfound joy: the natural sweetness of fruit, the hearty texture of oats, and the uplifting aroma that filled her kitchen became a celebration of wholesome ingredients. You might recall family picnics where those store-bought snacks seemed to vanish within minutes, children's laughter mingling with the rustle of sandwich bags. They were convenient, but at a hidden cost. Consider shifting to simple, whole food treats. Slice fresh fruit and arrange it on a platter, sprinkling a few nuts or seeds on top for texture. Or stir together oats, chopped nuts, and a spoonful of honey, then press into a pan and slice into bars. The result is tender, mildly sweet, and free from industrial oils that work against your brain's resilience. It might help to keep a small container of homemade trail mix by your chair. Mixed almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, and a few dark chocolate chips. When an afternoon craving arises, you have a crunchy, nourishing snack at hand that supports healthy fats in your brain. Each handful becomes an act of mindful care, a reminder that you hold the power to choose what feeds your neurons. If you love the idea of a buttery taste, try spreading a thin layer of avocado mash on whole grain toast, then sprinkling with nutritional yeast. The result is savory and rich, yet grounded in nourishment. Or bake simple scones using olive oil and whole wheat flour, folding in blueberries or chopped apples for sweetness. As you measure and mix, inhale the warm aroma rising from the oven. Proof that baking can be both ritual and nourishment, an act of self-kindness laced with empowerment. By letting go of trans fats and hydrogenated oils, you're gifting your brain the pure, protective fats it craves, those found in nuts, seeds, and cold-pressed oils. You're choosing to cultivate an inner environment where neurons can thrive, inflammation recedes, and memories can be retrieved with ease. And you're honoring the journey of your life, affirming that each thoughtful choice carries you closer to mornings of mental clarity, afternoons of engaged conversation, and evenings of contented reflection. Ultra-processed snack chips and crackers. There's a certain comfort in the crisp crackle of opening a bag of chips, or the neat stack of crackers on your plate, each bite echoing a satisfying crunch, a playful contrast to the gentle hush of your quiet kitchen. Yet behind that familiar texture often hides a blend of refined flours, oils stripped of their natural goodness, and flavor enhancers designed to keep your hand reaching back into the bag. For a brain that's already weathered decades of living and learning, these ultra-processed snacks can undermine cognitive resilience by promoting inflammation, disrupting healthy blood flow, and depriving your neurons of the nourishing fats and fibers they need to stay sharp. Imagine settling into your favorite armchair in the late afternoon, sunlight slanting through the curtains as you reach for a handful of buttery crackers while watching the birds at your feeder. At first, the buttery taste and airy crunch feel like a gentle reward, a small moment of pleasure in the middle of the day. But maybe you've noticed that an hour later, your thoughts feel sluggish, or you find yourself forgetting the name of that particularly bright cardinal you admired. One neighbor I know used to keep a large bowl of salted chips nearby, believing they were a harmless treat. Over time, she found her once vivid recollections of family stories growing dimmer, and she felt a dull tension around her temples whenever she bent forward to tie her shoes. When she replaced her chips with slices of crisp jicama sprinkled with sea salt and a squeeze of lime, she discovered the same satisfying crunch without the fog that followed. The cool, juicy snap of the vegetable felt invigorating, and the bright citrus aroma lifted her mood as she nibbled. It might help to notice the ritual you've built around packaged snacks, how the crinkle of the bag beckons you, how you savor the taste without realizing the toll it takes. Consider experimenting with simple, whole food alternatives that honor your brain's needs. Maybe you'll try lightly toasting chickpeas with a dash of smoked paprika for warmth, or baking thin rounds of sweet potato dusted with rosemary. The first time you bite into these homemade crisps, notice how the aromas rise in your kitchen. The earthy sweetness of root vegetables, the woodsy spice of herbs, the gentle hum of your oven transforming simple ingredients into something special. You've likely shared these snacks with friends on game nights or long phone calls, each crunchy morsel punctuating laughter and stories. You don't have to give up that sense of connection. Imagine laying out a small spread of raw nuts, almonds, pistachios, and walnuts, alongside bowls of sliced apples and cubes of cheese. Each combination invites your hand and your eye to move across the tray, weaving flavors and textures that feel both indulgent and nourishing. As you reach for a piece of crisp apple followed by a nut, You're engaging all your senses, and your brain thrives on that multisensory dance. It might also help to build a mindful snack station in your kitchen. Small glass jars filled with air-popped popcorn seasoned with nutritional yeast, dried seaweed sheets delicately folded into sticks, or roasted kale leaves brushed with olive oil. As you prepare these snacks, allow the process itself to become a form of self-care. Feel the leafy greens as you tear them. Breathe in the nutty aroma of olive oil, and notice the vibrant green color that makes your eyes light up. When the snacks are ready, serve yourself a modest portion in a favorite bowl, sit by the window, and truly savor each bite. You'll find that the rhythm of mindful eating can sharpen your focus and deepen your enjoyment far more than any factory-made chip ever could. By choosing whole food snacks over ultra-processed bags, you're making a powerful statement that your brain's health matters just as much as your heart's comfort. You're opting for foods rich in fiber, healthy fats, and plant compounds that nourish neurons and support healthy circulation. These ingredients, be it the creaminess of avocado on a crisp cracker made from seeds, or the satisfying chew of dried apricots paired with a handful of almonds, offer a gentle pep in your step, a clarity in your conversations, and a warmth in your spirit. Perhaps you have fond memories of sharing snack plates at family gatherings. Children chasing each other around the table, laughter ringing out against the clatter of dishes. You can recreate that same sense of joy at home, with snacks you craft and control, inviting friends or family to delight in both the flavors and the care you've put into preparing them. As you snack together, notice how conversations flow easily when your mind feels clear and your body feels light. In letting go of ultra-processed chips and crackers, you're inviting a renewed sense of agency in your kitchen and in your health. You're choosing to protect the delicate structures of your brain, those tiny synapses that carry stories, memories, and wisdom passed down through generations. And you're reminding yourself that every choice, even the smallest afternoon snack, can be an act of empowerment. As you embrace these gentle swaps, you pave the way for clearer thoughts, brighter moods, and an enduring sense of well-being that carries you through each new chapter with confidence and grace. As you close your kitchen cabinet on this gentle exploration, remember that your mind is a treasure trove of stories, lessons, and kindness. By releasing sweetened drinks, processed meats, and trans-fat-rich treats, you invite clarity, calm, and resilience back into each thought. Your life remains rich with possibility. Every morning a fresh page, every memory a gem worth protecting. Continue to nourish your spirit with hobbies you love, connections with friends and family, and moments of quiet self-care. Share your experiences in the comments. Encourage others to join you on this nurturing journey, and subscribe for more heart-centered guidance. Above all, know that your strength and wisdom are your greatest assets, and that each mindful choice is a step toward a brighter, sharper tomorrow.